there's a wrong answer. So, if yeah, it says it's recording. So,
Okay, well, I just
and
want
and
you to,
and and we're talking about like a 2 minute video. Like this is not. I'm gonna have like probably, 100 hours of footage for 2 minutes. And so maybe just a clip of our meeting is going to end up in the final product.
I understand.
Um,
I understand.
but so yeah, if you could just record, and then if something interesting happens, or I say something cool, that'd be cool.
Okay, it's recording.
Um, 8:54. Good morning, Sushi. I hope you're doing well.
Good morning, SL. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning.
Did you enjoy your break, Sushi?
Yes, they say graduate students do not have a fall break.
You're so right about that. I didn't have anything that even resembles a break. Whew.
Adam just emailed me saying once the new people have been confirmed, they will get office request access.
Okay, yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful. It's good to know. Good to know. Oh, you know me, I like to be proactive. I knew that was what his answer was going to be, but I at least wanted to get the ball rolling. Mm. God damn. How's the finance committee going, Sushi?
It is going okay. We got tons of requests, but right now we are not accepting any funding for travel. Maybe a couple of months, like maybe this month or this semester. But
Huh.
yeah, it's
I
going
didn't
good.
know that. Why not?
Uh, because I mean we are like a little short of fund, but we are still accepting the event funding. We are still accepting the event
Okay.
funding, not just the travel funding, because travel funding are like expensive, like 600 or 700, $800. So
Mhm.
funding.
Um, and then thanks for um but yeah, Sushi. So how many applications would you say that you all are doing or that you personally are doing?
So like each week or maybe in every 10 days, we get maybe like 30 new applications. And so, but I mean, we
Mm,
still have like pile of application we need to approve. Like we did not approve those. We will approve that. I mean, one by one. So we have like a toss of hanging hanging applications. So we are not accepting any anymore.
yeah, I'm just curious. I not being judgmental about any of it. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
learn,
sure.
the volume of work
Yeah.
that you all have because I've never seen it before. Um, we haven't started, Brandon. We're just kind of just talking and chilling and talking and chilling.
Oh, you're fine. I was like, we're a little early, but I figured.
Martina, Maya, good morning. Welcome.
Hi, good
Hi, good morning,
morning. How are
everyone.
you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, hey, good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. We haven't started yet. We'll start promptly at 9. But I'm just chilling in the meantime, doing some small talk, I guess, so to speak. Um, is this really early for either of you, or were you already awake and had your day started?
I started working at 7, so woke up
Okay,
for a few minutes.
okay.
I woke up
And
like
how
an
you
hour
feeling, Maya? You
ago.
okay?
I'm getting there.
Okay,
I feel better than last week for sure.
okay.
So I'm getting there.
Good, good to know. Good to know. Uh, Recovery is impossible, but only if you take time to recover. You know, you have to
That's my
relax.
problem. Yeah, that's my problem. Kind of like even when I'm feeling horrible, I still want to be like, okay, let me just go ahead and get this done. And then
Hmm
I'll take care of myself later. And then I end up dealing with the consequences later.
hmm
So
Yeah, that's a very bad habit. I think most of us are like that, especially when you're in school. You don't want to, you're so scared of getting behind, right? Like getting behind is not really an option in graduate school. And so the second you get behind, you're just about to drop out. And so
yes,
be
I
that the
have a
case.
midterm today.
I believe that. I totally believe that. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So you want to recover, but you still always have something to do. So with that said, I will be respectful of everyone's time. Good morning, Nija. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Leadership Team Talk. As you know, we meet on the second Tuesday of the month to really just talk. Like it is not a really formalized meeting in almost every space I go on UNC Charlotte's campus, I have to be remarkably formal all the time. And so at this leadership talk, I take a time not to be that way. So we're just going to share our thoughts and our information that we have, any updates that we have. And I intend to get us off of this call by 9:45 at the very latest. Um, and so to get started, let's go around and talk about the best part of our break and the worst part of our break really quickly, 1 to 2 minutes, starting with Danny. What was the best part of your break, worst part of your break?
Which part of the break is not being able to do work because I'd rather stay ahead in my homework. Best part of the break is trying to do some spring cleaning, technically, but even though it's fall. So, other than that, I haven't really much done nothing except try to post a lot of social media for homecoming week, and it's gone off really good. I've gotten good feedback on it, but other than that, that's about it.
Very good, very good. Pass it to someone else. Call someone else, Danny. And that person calls someone else.
Okay, that's fine. That's great. Might as well do Brandon next.
All right. Hey, good morning. My break was pretty well. The hardest part of my break was readjusting to having time off because I'm not used to it and I don't like it because it keeps me from using my day to the maximum, so I get bored. My kids enjoy me being home, but they're also teenagers, so they only enjoy me for a certain amount of time, and a week is a bit long. So that was fun. Nothing on my end. I was able to talk to a few people on campus to try to get some things in motion that we've already talked about. Uh, Everything else was pretty good. I needed the time, but a little bit too much time.
Great thought.
Uh, Caroline.
Let's,
Caroline's here. I didn't see her on the screen.
oh yeah, I'm here. Um,
Hey.
I guess the bad part would be I'm working on my first author paper, but it's just like so many edits. I'm working on this project for 2 years, ready to be done, and it's just I don't know, it's depressing sometimes how many times I have to go through the revisions. The good thing, I was invited for a second round interview for the TEDx at Charlotte. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
I love that. I love that. I love that. You're gonna get it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna get it. But pass it to someone else.
Let's see. How about Taylor?
Hey, so I just joined. What was the topic? What's the
Best
question?
and best and worst part of your break, and then pass it to
Best
someone else.
best part of my break, I guess, was just having the ability to kick back and do nothing for like a second. That was
Mhm,
great. But at the same time, that was probably the worst part also.
mhm.
Is that when I'm when I'm doing nothing, it's like nice and relaxing, but it's also like stressful because I'm like I have so many things to do. But sometimes you have to slow down, and take a break sometimes. So that was probably the best and worst part to me.
Fair, fair. Pass it to someone else, Taylor.
Um, I'll say my Asia.
Hey y'all. So I would say I'm gonna start with the best part. The best part was just being able to have time to kind of like breathe. Being a first semester grad student, it is kind of like a lot. It's just like, wow, like this is really how it is. So just being able to like breathe and also spend some time with it. She came up to Charlotte to kind of like monitor me and stuff. And then I would say the worst part is just been dealing with some things on the back burner, like with my medical and stuff like that. So that kind of like took the joy out of being able to have that little break. Um, let's see, who has it gone? I'll do Lindsay.
Okay, sorry, technical difficulties over here. Um, Best part of my break, I slept a lot. Worst part of my break, I had to work. I am not sure who hasn't gone, so can I just like throw it up to someone who hasn't gone yet?
Um,
Yeah, I'll do it. I
Thank
haven't gone.
you.
Yeah, I haven't gone. Well, I'm fortunate in that my graduate class is Monday, Wednesday. So it really per se wasn't a break, but at the same time, uh, to me it was good because we had our photo shoot on Friday. So that was a nice experience getting together and meeting several of you in person. So that was a nice day.
was fun. I enjoyed that too, for sure. Pictures came out great. Um, you can pass it to, I believe, maybe Nija or let me see. I haven't gone.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
I was gonna say, yeah, Nigel, that'd be good.
Okay, I didn't really have a break, but I had a great weekend. I just kind of relaxed a little bit. SL.
So, what looked like would be the worst part of my break ended up being the best part of my break in that um, about a month ago, and I were at lunch and we were in Social 704 and we were just talking about all the things. Me and Caroline just talk. And one of the undergraduate students overheard us and kind of chimed in on our conversation and added a great deal of context to our conversation because he's 18 years old, freshman at UNC Charlotte, just got here, very super smart young kid, super smart. He was valedictorian of his class. And Caroline and I were like, hey, when we see you around, come eat with us, come talk with us. And so over the break, for the first time since that experience, seeing him a month ago, he came and sat at my table. I was sitting by myself, and we talked again for about an hour about class and how he loves math and how he just does math problems for fun, right? And I was explaining to him that I'm going to introduce him to a student that I had last semester who currently tutors other students in math. And so I did that. I I introduced them via email. However, the student that I had introduced him to didn't respond the entire break, right? And so I'm kind of disappointed and embarrassed and livid because this student who has all the knowledge to help this freshman become a tutor in math potentially or join a math club on campus and all the things I don't know is not responding. And it wasn't until this morning that she finally responded. And she sent him a ton of links and a ton of really valuable information. And I don't know, weird as that might sound, that really made my day because it makes me feel like my purpose is happening, right? Like don't want to just get a 4.0 and get myself into law school, which I obviously do, but I also want to have an impact on other students on our campus. And so that I'm really grateful that she was able to finally get that information. So that made my break wonderful. Has everyone gone? Okay, cool. Everyone's gone. So we're just get
Um,
right into it. Like I mentioned for
I
everyone
didn't, sorry.
who didn't do it. Oh, Martina, let's go.
You're good, you're good. I had some cameras issues, but it's solved now, so that's good.
Okay.
I guess my best thing about the break was that I was able to like finalize everything about like moving into our new apartment and kind of get a little bit rest from moving and working and doing classes, just focus on not moving and resting a little bit from all of that. So that was great. And the worst part, I'm not sure. It was pretty good. So
I just noticed. I think I just saw Radhika is here. Is Radhika here? Radhika, are you on the Zoom?
She's here. She's muted.
Oh, Daniel, I didn't know you were here either.
I'm here.
Everyone's
Suchi
here at
hasn't
9
gone
o'clock.
either.
Go for it,
Um,
man. What was the best part, worst part of your break?
Worst part was I had no break. Much like Derek, my classes were not really like set up to where the break. My Monday class I didn't have, so that was nice. And then best part was over the weekend we had a birthday party for my sister slash my other sister's boyfriend. They had the same birthday, so we did a joint birthday party. That was a lot of
Nice.
fun. So yeah, that was the highlight.
Very nice.
Has
Cool.
Suchi gone?
Yeah, Sushi's gone.
Okay.
No,
I
I did
think
not.
oh, Sushi hasn't gone? Okay, yeah, we were talking about something else. My bad.
Okay. So the best part was I went to Savannah for a day and I met Mr. Pirate there. His name was he was a cosplayer. Jack he cosplayed like Jack Sparrow. His name was Jack White. It was really fun to see him, like meet him and take some photos of him. And then the worst part was for that I could not make my presentation for my midterm, which is today. And it's just killing me.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, that was
Yeah, I appreciate everyone who's here who has a midterm today. That's a big sacrifice, I know. Anybody else who hasn't gone yet? Radhika, can you hear us? I know her camera's not on, but maybe she can go later. Thank you to everyone who is here so early. I was only anticipating maybe 4 or 5 of us on the call. Looks like it's like 13, like almost all of the teams here, which is great. Um, I want to definitely welcome the new members to the team. Certainly excited to have you all join us, and thank you for doing so. Um, if you look in our drive, everyone should have access to our drive. Um, and in the drive, you'll notice what we've been up to, right? And there's a document for all the newbies called 13 Areas of Concern. And if you look at it's really a slide deck, that 13 Areas of Concern, it pretty much outlines what happened last year with GPSG versus what we're doing this year, including the logo change and all of the different transformations that the organization has gone through since this team has come into office. That way you can get yourself like kind of caught up to speed on the history and maybe be able to better understand why we're doing what we're doing. Um, I want to bring to everyone's attention, not just the newbies, it's something that I've mentioned before to, the team that has already existed, that we have something called a learning journal in that drive. And in that drive, if you discover something while Sushi, for an example, going through applications for the finance committee or any new valuable information that can be passed down to our replacements, I want us to put that in the learning journal document. And that's what it's titled. It's titled the learning journal document. It is just a more efficient way of doing something that's currently in our bylaws that other iterations of the GPSG had not been doing. And so other versions of this organization were supposed to keep a book. Each individual, like all 17 of us, will have our own personal book where we write down all of these different things that we learned in our positions. I've scrapped that and we just pretty much have it in one big learning journal where we can just all go in there and put our stuff in there. Because at the very end of the year, when we expire on May the 15th, we're going to have a joint meeting with that transition team and have like a transition meeting. Danny Voyazine, if you can um, do a Crest reservation for a space the week of the 15th. I'm not sure which day of the week that is, but we want to get a space that accommodates 40 people and just put that on the books, and so that later I can communicate exactly what that date is, and that way we can commit to being there in the spring. That's one thing that didn't happen with our team that we're going to make sure happens next year, because everything falls apart when we're not doing transitions, right? You feel me? And so moving forward, the new business slide, item number 4 on my, and if you all want to look at what I'm looking at in the October 14th leadership team talk agenda notes, it's in there. There's a folder that says team talk. I'm on point number 4. And these are literally just notes to myself. Like, there's nothing professional about them. There's words misspelled, all the things. And so, but on point number 4, the new business slide, if you've noticed at our Senate meeting, when it comes to new business at our Senate meeting, Daniel Patton is there, and then there's like very little conversation or zero feedback. Like the GSOs, they tend to get a little shy. And so to combat that going forward, what we're going to do is I'm not going to have a slide, right? Like, I'm not going to have any more slides for Senate this entire year. We're fully staffed again. And so when it gets to the new business slide, if it's quiet, I'm going to stay in my seat. I'm not going to come up to the podium, but I have so many different pieces of new business that I'm learning all the time from meeting with administrators all the time, that I'm just going to throw out there and probably spark conversation. And so, Daniel Patton, you'll notice your slide probably isn't going to change that much. It'll seem kind of blank. I'll be sitting in my seat, and then that's the time where me and or Corwin, probably split them up with me and Corwin, and we'll just throw something out there. Like, I'll give you an example. The Union parking deck has been out. The elevator in the Union parking deck has not been operating for well over a month. And I emailed the director of parking and transportation services. Her name is Nancy Smith. And Nancy Smith replied to me and informed me that not only will it be out, it'll be out for the foreseeable future. She doesn't know when it's going to be repaired. And so it's topics like that. Like, I have all this random stuff about about the university that I think will fit well into that section. Anybody have any thoughts about that? Do you all think that's a good move?
Yeah, so I want to ask, well, what is the? Because I came up for the photo shoot.
Yes, sir.
I'm mobility challenged. Luckily, I'm not wheelchair bound, but
Yes, sir.
walking is different. You still have a cane. But what is the accessible alternative if they're not going to have the elevator there? That's got to be made clear, or else to me, they're not keeping up with disability law. Because that was the accessible. You got the handicap parking right there, and the elevators there would take you straight. But otherwise, you got steps. But everybody that's mobility challenged, some are in wheelchairs. I'm just wondering is it clearly spelled out, or they need to make some throughway signs or something if they're not going to fix it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And so I'm going to answer your question in two ways. I'm going to answer it like I'm an administrator, and then I'm going to answer it like I'm a student. Here's the administrator's answer. If I'm an administrator at UNC Charlotte, I would say, well, because this is how they do me all the time. I think it's hilarious. Caroline can vouch for this. Well, on the weekends, the parking deck is free, and you can just drive your car all the way up to the 6th floor and then just walk into the building as if the elevator is working, right? But if you're there Monday through Friday, when you can't park all the way to the top for free, and you don't want to pay to park all the way to the top for free, then there is a phone number on the elevator door for paratransit where someone will come and will assist you. But I'm certain that probably takes more time than you're going to have available to wait for that. And so that is the administrator answer to your question. Now, SL with his student hat on, is I think that it's totally, totally unacceptable. And I, have a really good working relationship with Nancy Smith. She's a wonderful lady. She's actually kind of heroic if you know anything personal about her. She's worked here 25 years, adopted kids, just this really great one person. And in her email, she explains that it is the county that has shut down the elevator and that it was leaking water. And the university has hired several contractors over the last 6 months to seal the elevator so that it doesn't leak water, but the problem still persists. And until the university finds the appropriate vendor that can repair the problem, the county won't allow the elevator to open. And so it's not as if the elevator's inoperable. It works. They have been told they just can't use it because it's unsafe. Um, so I know that doesn't really get us to a resolution, but that's where we are. And that is just an example of the type of, and I'll probably state exactly that in our new business section. Daniel, you cool with that? Daniel Patton?
Yeah, of course. So I'll
All right.
just open it up, and then when there's the predictable silence, you guys will jump in.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We'll spread. I'm gonna spread out the talking points. I'm sure Caroline will have some too via Zoom. Caroline, will you be there via Zoom on the 28th
Yes,
or
I
not
should
at
be.
all?
I should be. Let me
Okay.
check my conference schedule, but I think I should be good. I think I speak at the conference on Mondays. I should be good for Tuesday.
Okay. If you can't make it, I totally understand. I know that affects you, Nas, I believe Tofik, and one more. Faria, maybe? I'm not sure. But you're all going to the same conference, I've been told.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have we reached out to disability services to see if we can find something in the meantime? Because this probably affects more than just one student. And so I'd like to provide them with some viable solution.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should do that. You know, it's not like me to sit around without a pen and paper. Well, I haven't had a pen and paper out. Yeah, we need to contact disability services to see if there's an alternative because Dart's right. I mean, that's
Because ADA
I'm
compliance
challenged.
is a federal guideline. So, like, if they are not meeting the ADA metrics, people can file a federal complaint. So, I think we need to spur them to action sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you'd think like at least on like the fourth floor where they have the gates, there should they should at least like rope off some spots for disability parking. Like, at the very least, you'd think, right?
I love that idea.
Yeah, maybe in your monthly meetings with all the administrators, in a couple Tuesdays, you can bring that up as well and see what we
Yeah,
can do.
yeah. I was not thinking about, potentially having some disabled spots on the top deck because the top deck's never really full, right? Like especially Monday through Friday because people have to pay. So, it's maybe 25% full at the most I've seen. And so they certainly have the spaces available. There should be an alternative. So thank you all for that. Thank you very, very much for that. That reminds me of a point I was going to make earlier that I kind of forgot that you all's voices really matter, especially to the new team members. If you don't know that, if you do the math, we each represent roughly 330 graduate students. And so when we give our opinion, it's like 330 students may feel the same way, right? From a representation standpoint. So I really, 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 really need to hear your thoughts about this and your ideas about this because I am going to take it to them and see what sticks. Um, so number 5 is a big one. So our Constitution has not been updated since 2017 or bylaws since 2019. And I am wanting to change that, right? And so yesterday, Taylor and I had a meeting and we went over line by line the bylaws and the Constitution, and we identified some areas that need some improvement. Taylor is going to go and create a slide where he presents to the Senate on the 28th the reasons why we need to change our Constitution and bylaws, not just because they're 7 years old plus, but also because the organization doesn't operate the way it suggests in the bylaws any longer. If you take the time to read, you'll notice that the executive board only consists of 5 members, according to the bylaws. However, for years now, it's actually consisted of 7 members. Chief of marketing and technology were moved to the executive board sometime in the last 2 or 3 years. And so there are major structural um, inconsistencies that need to be properly um, amended. And so we're going to do that this year. We're going to change it. And so the goal is to have Taylor present this on the 28th, but we're going to actually vote on it at the next meeting on November the 18th. Anybody have any thoughts or ideas, questions about the Constitution? there is one other section I want to mention. I mentioned in the WhatsApp chat yesterday that there's the section, section four, letter N of the bylaws, where it talks about volunteer points. And currently, all graduate student organizations are expected to do certain campus service hours. I believe the number is 16. Am I right about that, Taylor? Is it 16 hours or is it? I believe it's 16. It's 16. And so every graduate student organization is expected to do 16 service hours for the academic year. If they don't, the GPSG automatically revokes their charter. Like it's really strong. No hours, no charter. Um, I found out about this completely accidentally from a representative from organizational science emailing me and Caroline about their service hours. And I was so confused because I had never heard of this. And it wasn't until Casey Hurst brought it to my attention and led me to the bylaws that I was able to clarify this is something that the organization had been doing in the past that obviously had not been doing anymore. And so, what I want to bring to everyone on the call today is whether or not we want to continue that. Do we want so many things? There's so many things. Like, this is huge. Like, do we want to keep that policy in place? And if we do, how do we enforce it? Who enforces it? Like, which of the 17 of us is responsible for making sure GSOs are completing their service hours? And then, or because we haven't been doing it, we would just scrap it all together and potentially replace it with another requirement. Um, and I'll say one more thing before I open up the floor. My thought process as far as replacement would be something Niner Engage Gallery related, right? Because Niner Engage Gallery is very, 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 very important, and from my view, as far as increasing participation on our campus. The, I believe, intent of the points system is to do the same thing. And so I think that if we are to scrap the point system, maybe we replace it with gallery. I'll let y'all talk.
I like the point system. I haven't read too
Okay.
much into it, but I think it would be valid to let them use points for like if they are doing marketing for their own GSO. So like, if Bias makes a flyer, that counts towards their hours. Or like if there's an event that they host, that counts towards their hours. Just to basically show that they're an active organization.
So you're saying keep it and just we track it, right? Okay.
Mhm.
I love it. I love that there is an accountability mechanism that the GPSG has in place. I just didn't know it existed. As president of the Graduate History Association last year, I was totally unaware. No one from GPSG ever contacted me about it. My advisor never said anything about it. Um, and so I'm glad organizational science was doing its due diligence because I think that would be the only way that I found out. Martina, go ahead.
Um, so when I was reading it, I was like confused, but it's clear now how it works, and I do have some thoughts. I think doing the Niner Engage or even like their Instagram like posts and like just updates on like what's going on, like what events are organizing is potentially like easier because there's no extra work needed for them to like get the points. And
Yes.
knowing how people work,
Yes.
it can be hard to do even that like one extra step if they already organized the entire event.
Yeah.
Um, so I think I did like genuinely the idea of like the Niner Gauge or even like the Instagrams. Because like when I came here this year, this semester, I wanted to work with the like Psych High organization, which actually I don't, it's no longer working at UNCC, which why haven't joined. But I was like, that's weird. But now I know they probably didn't got their hours in, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. But yeah, so I do think general thought, I do think the 9-hour gauge would be better than the point system because I think more people would be actually accountable to that because they're both promoting themselves and acquiring the necessary like steps to stay active.
Yeah, yeah. I hear all of that, and I think that's really legitimate critique. Maya, what you got?
I would have to agree with both Caroline and Martina. Is that how you say your name? I have to agree with both of you guys because just like before even classes started, I checked out the 9-year gauge page and things like that to see what organizations I would like to join. And I've noticed, even just looking over it yesterday, a lot of organizations have nothing on their page. So it's kind of like turned me away from a lot of organizations. Like, okay, like it's not really nothing going on. I don't want to be in an organization that's not active. It's kind of like a
Hmm.
time wasted thing. So,
Hmm.
and then also with the point system, I think that should still be in place. Um, just to give an example, at my undergrad, I am an AKA, and like one of our requirements was to do volunteer things. And it kind of just shows like you're not joining for the wrong reasons. Like you want to do community service, you want to help out, the community, the school, and things like that. So it's kind of like also to defeat the purpose of an organization. You want to help out the community. So like why not make that requirement to have those service hours and also keeping the Niner Engaged page active for anyone that may want to join an organization. They'll kind of have an idea of what that organization does.
Heard that. Heard that. Dark, what you got?
So, my thoughts on this is if you keep the requirements, 18 hours is just too laborious given grad student scheduling things. I like that they would get credit for Niner Engage, maybe weighting that in terms of how they accounted for points, but also if not eliminating, at least reducing the number of hours because we don't want to add heavier tasks to graduate students, but we do want the organizations to be viable and active. So there's a
Yeah,
balance somewhere we can there.
yeah, Dark. I actually had the exact same thought when I woke up this morning that I think personally, my one vote would be to shorten the hours for volunteer points from 16 to maybe 8, and then find a way to add an additional 8 just for doing Niner Engage, right? And so we kind of put both in place without adding an additional burden because you're right, it can be quite laborious. The current point system seems impossible. That's why they're not doing it, right? Like nobody's doing it. Go ahead, Brandon.
I was along the lines of what you were thinking. I agree with everybody that both things can work, but I think that we should update the mandatory minimums. So you can do this. You can do the Niner Engage, or you can do the volunteer. But like you said, we need to lower the hours and make it so, hey, as long as you're doing a minimum of certain amount of posts or a certain amount of hours, you're still in compliance. But if you go above that, then of course I would think that would put them in a better position to be recognized and or be known around campus. I
Yeah,
don't
I
really
love
feel
that.
like adding more is a good necessary, but taking away could definitely help people do more instead of making nobody wants a high minimum. Make the minimum and lower lower the floor, raise the ceiling.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of potentially recognizing those who go above. Right now, there isn't anything in place to recognize people who go above. We're going to do Lindsay and then we'll do Radhika. And then we're going to try to wrap this up so that we can, get off the call. Definitely by 10. I was aiming for 9:45, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Lindsay.
I just had a question about the hours. Like, if we
Yeah.
had, 6 people coming for the same event, is that 6 hours, or you know what I mean? Like, is it event hours itself? Like, they're going for 6 hours at a food pantry, and that counts. It doesn't matter how many people there are.
Taylor, does it specify? I don't have that in front of me at the moment. I could probably get it. Um, Taylor, how does that read exactly? Can you read that section?
Yeah, sure. So I'm just gonna read the whole thing.
Okay.
Um, So it says, in order to remain a chartered organization in good standing with the GPSG, each chartered organization shall fulfill a total of 16 hours of service with at least 4 hours towards service with the GPSG. Volunteer service hours can be earned by engaging in events and projects within 4 categories. Um, you know, let's see, GPSG sponsored event, active participation in the GPSG committee, service as a GPSG cabinet member, or service on a campus advisory board, events that benefit the university as a whole, or events that benefit the community. So yeah, like volunteering with the food pantry would be included in that. Organizations can apply for service hours by way of a volunteer service form provided on the OrgSync webpage. I actually just looked at the OrgSync webpage. There's no volunteer form there.
Of course
Seems like
not.
an outdated website, so
Yeah.
wanted to bring that up. The
Yeah.
following details must be included in the proposal to be considered: a description of the event, which of the 4 categories, the number of members, and the number of hours each volunteer participated, the number of hours that should be earned for the completion
Okay.
of the proposal, and the name of the organizer's advisor. So let's see.
So it sounds
It
like
says
it's
nothing
hours per
about,
person because
I'm
it said
sorry?
how many people were participating, right?
Yes.
So to me,
I'm
I
not
read that
sure
as if
if
there's 3 of us, then we all were there for an hour. They should have gained 3 hours. No?
I don't think it multiplies like that. I think it's at like what the like organization hours. But I'm looking and it says if a group completes the required annual volunteer hours corresponding to their blah, blah, blah. So that is kind of there's no like nothing that specifies whether or not you that like 3 people doing 1 hour would be 1 hour or 3 hours. There's nothing that
Hmm.
specifies that. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we're trying to update the bylaws. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
from 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Taylor. And so make a note that that's something that we're going to specify. Even if we keep it, if we amend it, no matter what, we need to clarify, is it individual or is it the group? Radhika, go ahead. I'm sorry you had to wait so long.
No, I was just thinking like if we are planning to combine, we can make like 10 hours of minimum service hours, and in that we can count 5 hours for niner engage and 5 hours for the rest of the activities like attending events or participating in GPSG volunteering work. And also, we can limit the number of people attending at the same time. So we can keep the limit like 2 people will be counted as a group and will give 1 hour of a credit like that.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent suggestion. Take a note of that too, Taylor, to limit the number of people that can be counted for the group. We can later decide what that number is, but I think there should be limits because that way people don't just go ahead and abuse the system if we are to keep it all together. And so I want to revisit this because we have so many more things on the agenda that I want to get to before we get off this call. Not a second past 10 o'clock. And then we'll revisit this in the WhatsApp chat, okay? So be on the lookout for that in the WhatsApp chat. And then of course I'll be inviting everyone to lunch and we can share our opinions on it at our lunches. Moving on, um, new team members, if you have not joined Niner Engage Plus app, please do so. Um, Also, we want to start sending photos to Maya often. If you all are out or if you all do a meeting, let's say Martina, for an example, if you go and meet with Chris Smith, the Vice Chancellor of Health and Well-being, and this his executive assistant has time, grab a photo with you and Chris Smith and send that to Maya. What we want to do is we want to obviously start collecting things for our Niner Engage gallery. But what we also want to do is start collecting photos for the end of year GRS Graduate Research Symposium video, right? Where if you're in your academic departments, right, Taylor, you're in bioinformatics and you all are, doing the bioinformatics things, and I don't know, you're in the labs, all those moments where you with other graduate students collaborating, start taking pictures and email them to Maya. Deal? Appreciate that. Let's start doing that like immediately. So if you're not, I know it's kind of awkward, hey guys, get together, let's take a picture, but they'll do it. People love to take pictures once you ask them. And that's for our end of year video and for our gallery. Next thing, um, um, have lunch with me. That's a number 9. Pads and Constitution, we pretty much talked about that. The Chancellor's Harris alumni event, we're wearing our gold pins on that day with blazers. If you want to wear your polo, you can. I just would like for you to wear this. But if you're coming from somewhere where you have no choice but to wear the polo, then just wear the polo. Uh, I was asked to give remarks at this event. I have class that starts at 6:30, which means I may cut out early. I'm not 100% certain that I will be able to make those comments at this event. Radhika, I'd like to ask you, in your role as vice president, if you would like to substitute and make comments at this. Were you planning on attending, Radhika?
The homecoming event?
No, the October 21st Chancellor's Student Government uh, event.
Mm,
It's at the
I'm
Harris.
not sure because I have cultural festival going on during that period.
I understand. If you got something already on the books, I can't remember who all said they were coming. I know Taylor, Oz, Caroline. Are you going to be there on the 21st?
I'll be there.
Okay. In 2 minutes to make remarks because I have class at 6:30. If my remarks, I'm not going to miss class, right? Like I'm just not going to miss it. And so because I may have to miss, I may ask one of you to draft some remarks. The chancellor will be there. All the chief decision makers will be there. GPSG needs to say something. It just won't come from SL Lively. We'll revisit that as it gets closer. We're going to do a new group photo on December the 5th. Brandon, what you got?
Real quick for the
Yeah.
chancellor's event, I'd RSVP for that, but that
Yes.
night I have a event with the Union County Cooperative Extension for my internship.
Yeah.
So it's kind of mandatory that I be there because it's my introduction to them.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want, you can un-RSVP, and by that I mean email text me and remind me to send you Ashley's email, and I'll just have you un-RSVP. Her
Okay.
name is Ashley something. I just can't remember what.
Because they're going on at the same time. The event I have to go to is at 6 to 8, and then this one is what from 5:30 to 7 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean you can undo it. You don't have to be there. This isn't mandatory.
Okay.
So you can get out of it, no problem. Um, we're doing a new group photo in December when Danny comes back, and so December the 5th. Put that on your calendars. Danny, were you able to get a space?
It's in processing from them right now. It says it's in process.
Okay, thank you for that. We will confirm the space, but the time is generally between 4 and 6 on December 5th. We
Yeah.
really, 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 really need everyone to be there for the group photo because hey, it's a group photo. And moving on, Jenna Bess, I sent the email. He's an SGA representative who wanted us to be on the SGA. I don't know what council because there are 2 seats for graduate students. I did not find out until last night that their meetings happen in the evenings when I know for master's students, all of our classes are in the evenings. And so that never really works. And so if they're a PhD student on, I forget, like the second Tuesday, like 6:30 p.m. Get with me if you want to represent us on in that space. I did confirm with Isaiah, student body president, that in the last 2 years, no graduate student has ever filled that position. And maybe for obvious reasons, but because there's a time conflict. And so this is not a lot of pressure. I just want to give y'all an update on what's going on with that email. Point number 14 on this agenda is the liaison's new configuration. You probably all had a chance to see that. Anybody have any questions about that, comments about that, concerns about the new liaison reconfiguration? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Radhika and I sent a message because we were, what's the word? Not in the position to send a letter through the liaisons at that time. But now that we are, again, we're going to, mobilize ourselves to contact the organizations that we have been assigned to and send them a quick message. Radhika, did you want to still send something concerning the volunteers? Um,
Honestly, the mail we sent, I have not received any response on that form, so I think we should bring that up during our meeting of GPSG Senate meeting. I think mail doesn't gonna work on that moment.
okay, I'm glad you said that. Thank you for letting me know that. I didn't know we had zero. Darick, who is now our campus committee rep, has taken, the slot of Maya, and I still do intend to send a very similar email from Dark's campus committee rep account inviting them. But what we're going to have to start doing now is really, really cracking the whip, enforcing, hey, you got to send us 5 volunteers or revoke charter. I hate
Now
to go
that
nuclear
is,
on them, but we've been nice this whole time.
yeah, now that is something to crack the whip on. That's exactly talking about what we requirements for them. Yeah.
No, well, we got to have these 5 volunteers or revoke charter. It's in the bylaws. It's there. It's existed for years. We're not going to change that. And so, Darg, you and I will meet for lunch and talk about the best strategies. Me, you, and Radhika can come up with the best strategies for enforcement mechanisms, and we'll put that into the slides. Radhika, I don't think your slide should even change for October 28th. Pretty much it's the exact same information. Is that right?
I have to just update the scanning part. I will update it in last because it might get expired after some time. So.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Maya, what you got?
I will say one thing that I noticed that has worked when I was campus community rep is sending those like reminder emails. I know whenever I had sent one the first round, that's when we started. Some people's like, oh, it slipped through. I have all these emails coming in and I didn't see it. So some people are generally not seeing it. So I think
Okay.
if we send that second email just to kind of confirm, we may get
Okay.
more feedback.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Dark and I are gonna definitely get started on that. I didn't know that was working. When they did come back the second round, did you add their names to the list? What'd you do with that student that said yes?
Yes, I added to the list, but it wasn't like a lot of response, but it was like at
Okay.
least like 2 to 5, and I did put those in the list.
Okay. Very good. Very, very, very good. Um, okay, moving on. And Dark and I again, we're gonna need to have lunch, Dark, so we can get started on these volunteers. Um,
Okay.
and we can meet at, Sovi, that you don't have to deal with the union and all the elevator nonsense. Tomorrow is the October 15th t-shirt swap. I sent the email maybe 2 weeks ago now, between 10:30 and 12:30. The Dean of Students, her name is Denise Simpson. Denise Simpson asked the GPSG and the SGA if we could volunteer our time with this new campus tradition where students give us their used t-shirt from God knows where in whatever condition, and we give them a UNC Charlotte t-shirt, which for all the reasons, sustainability wise and all the things, it's a great idea, right? They're gonna take their used stuff to the Goodwill, resell them to people who need. Everybody wins. And I don't think any of you have agreed to come with me. Who's coming with me? Anybody coming with me? No
I have
one?
that meeting tomorrow that I told you about. Otherwise, I would.
Fair, fair. It's okay. It's okay. I know that's a
What is the
odd time of the day.
location there? What is the location that they're gathering?
They're going to be in front of the CHHS building, which is in the plaza near the what's that guy? Norm the Niner is out there pouring the water. Pretty much right in front of that.
Okay.
And so if you can make it, I'll be out there. I'm doing a video as my last week as a go to Niner, and so I'll be, out there in full Niner pride and I'm soaking it all up for the last time I get to be special and giving out t-shirts. And then we talked about point number 17, the 2 slots. 18 unregistered orbs are still expected to attend our Senate meetings. If someone asks you, or if they are, if they think that, because they're unregistered, they can't attend the meeting, that's far from the truth. when they are registered, Adam Burden explained to me that they're really registered not so much with GPSG, but with the university. And so the consequences to that, though, mean that they have lost certain reservation spaces on campus and they obviously can't apply for funding. But they are still expected to attend our meetings, right? So just put that out there just so that you have that knowledge. Um, and then I think our last thing would be the slide rehearsal. Let me pull up these slides. Anybody got any questions, comments about anything while I'm looking for the slides? Because after the slides, we're pretty much done.
I have one thing. I'm trying to gauge interest
Yeah.
from everybody who's here who would be willing to be involved with the Wreath Across America event that's on the 13th of December. It's, if you don't know what Wreath Across America is, it's an event where you go place donated and or bought wreaths for on veterans' graves on a specific day in December as a show of remembrance. This year in Charlotte is going to be at Cedar Grove Cemetery, which is near West Charlotte. It's historically black community. So that whole graveyard is a lot of unmarked historic black veteran graves that they've been trying to restore and fix. So that's something I'm trying to get interested in because I got to contact them so we can volunteer, but I need to know how many people I can say would want to volunteer.
Yeah, you can
What
certainly
day
put
of
me
week
down,
does that
Brandon. I'm
fall
down
on?
for that,
It's Saturday. I'm sharing it's in chat right now if you need the flyer for it.
I'm making a donation to them for about I'm going to donate like 5 reefs to
Yeah,
that
I'm
cause.
doing the same, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
for
also
Memorial
be out
Day.
there too. So you guys don't have to like show up, but donations are sharing this information with your particular groups, whoever you're working with in school, so get some people involved because it's a good thing. And if they don't want to necessarily do Cedar Grove, the website for Wreath Across America allows you to donate in general. So you don't have to pick a specific area. If you just want to donate 10 for the country, then 10 wreaths will be placed because of that.
Yeah, I could potentially do it. I haven't gotten the sports schedule yet for December. But yeah, I could potentially do it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'll be sure to like put up some flyers around the buildings and stuff. Make sure that more people know about it.
That's perfect. The more eyes we have on this, the more it is because Wreath Across America is big in military towns. Like I did it every year I was in the Navy in San Diego. I did it at Point Loma Cemetery out there, which is their biggest veteran cemetery in Southern California, and it's right on the tip of the coast. And when we leave out on our deployments and underways, we go by it. So it was a pretty big thing for me to go out there and do that.
I did it in Reading, yeah, because there's the Northern California Veterans Cemetery out there
Yep.
to go.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Brandon, for the update on that, and continue to add to your slide, which I don't think I've even created yet. I will make sure I add a slide for you to present exactly that information at our Senate meeting, as well as any other additional updates that you have on the 28th. My laptop is moving a bit slowly. If I can, I'm going to try to share my screen so that we can run through these slides. It should only take 5 minutes just so that you have an idea where we are and what we're about to do. It makes me feel better knowing that we've gone through it at least a half a second before we actually show up on the 28th. Let me see. Um, Okay, I have not received the little message saying that I'm screen sharing, so I imagine I'm not yet. Great. So my computer
Listen,
is really
can you
okay.
give
There
the
we
access to me? I can share.
go. Maybe right there, 'cause, I'm kind of stupid when it comes to stuff like this. I'm gonna try. Oh, let's see. But everything seems to be freezing, and I don't like that. Let's see. Well, well, it looks like I am not my my laptop's not cooperating properly unless it says I've started screen sharing. Can you all see anything?
Just a black screen.
Do.
So that's how it started screen full screen mode. That's what we see.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I spilled coffee on my laptop and had to buy a refurbished one, and the refurbished one that I'm using now moves very, very slowly, and it fails me in moments of need like this. So my apologies. However, the slides are in our drive, and as you know, if you have an additional computer with you, we can at any moment see, the slides, what the plan is. But essentially, similar to meeting, Corin was going to start the meeting this time. Again, I'm not going to be there.
Question. Did we get an invite to the drive, or how do we assess the drive? Me being new, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do we assess that drive?
I'm going to send out links once again to everybody just in case you can get into the drive. You should be able to get into the drive. If you don't, I'll let Adam Burden know and see if we can get access to the drive.
Okay.
I'm the growing.
He got knocked off. He'll probably rejoin in a minute.
Which slides in the Google Drive are for our meetings in the fourth week of each month? Because there's a lot of slides. I'm not sure which ones would they be when we prep.
So there's a folder that has 8 Senate meeting slides, and if you go to the October 28th monthly Senate meetings, it should be that slide deck.
I can see that now.
You can see this?
I
Okay,
see,
good.
thank you.
Yeah, it says October 28th monthly Senate meeting.
I'm looking at the drive access, and everyone in here has the drive access, so I'll send out a link in case you haven't gotten it yet.
Well, it's pretty straightforward, really. I think the SL will open the meeting. Corman's gonna go next, and then if you're up next, your picture's gonna be in the bottom right corner there. And so just be on standby when it's your time to go. Make sure to project because the room is big, and a lot of the times in the back half of the room, people are not able to understand what's being said. Um,
Yeah, I felt like I was yelling because I have a naturally pretty quiet voice, but I was heard.
yeah, yeah, it just, put a little extra oomph in it. I'm noticing you have quite a few tabs open.
That is one of my many windows. I probably have 70 tabs open.
But yeah, it's straightforward. There'll be a time for them to respond to any questions. Here it comes back. But but yeah, I mean it's not too complicated. Like I said, bottom right corner if you're about ready to go, and just be on standby. And when we get in the room, you'll see there's a podium, and that's where we'll speak from. And then someone will be following along with the slides as we go.
Is there a way we could try to secure a microphone? That way we're not yelling.
That's
Nope.
a good question.
Nope. I tried that. There's no microphone capacity for that space. Like, no, a lot of groups want a microphone in that space, but the room technology won't allow for that, which is weird. Like, I imagine we could get like a karaoke machine or something. I don't know. But thank you all for helping me through that little technical glitch. If you have questions about what you will need to be doing or the slides at all, just contact me or any one of us. And then also reach out if you're available Monday through Friday for a lunch. That's my time to kind of bond and we connect and we kind of just be regular humans and just enjoy a meal, talk about GPSG, talk about what's going on in our lives, and really just be a united front. If you don't have any questions, thank you so much. And I will talk to you all in the chat. Have a good day. Good luck on your midterms.